One knockout, and they are anticipating what could be a very exciting bout this evening. Fighter who was described by many to be a mini Mike Tyson, and that is Chiquita Gonzalez. Chiquita trying to regain the title. A real idol in Mexico, and here comes Chiquita. This is a kid with a lot of charisma. They love him in Mexico. They love him in Los Angeles, where he has fought several times. He is coming off, since he lost his title, 2 knockout victories. This is a kid who can brighten up a room, Ferdy. He's a very friendly youngster, but he's not too friendly in that ring.
Well, he's kind of like Pepino Cuevas, who happens to look like a little bit. They were angelic-looking guys that turned into devils in the ring. You know, Chiquita was elected KO Magazine's boxing best puncher pound for pound last year, and he was on a tremendous streak when he stumbled. He was just such excitement. It was he and Carvajal on this track to meet. So exciting.
Now, also from Mexico is Melchor Cob Castro, who has taken a little of the thunder away from Chiquita Gonzalez by defeating Rolando Pasqua by way of that 10th round knockout, where he just wore Pasqua down and forced him to quit in the 10th round.
Yeah, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. He surprised Chiquita, and then he got surprised. It's not easy being on top.
Castro had a rather slow start to his professional career. He won only 3 of his first 7 fights. He was 3-1-3 at that point, but then he just took off. He is 26-1 since that time. And he probably is the more maneuverable of the 2 fighters as they get ready for this bout this evening. Chiquita, we know, is going to come straight ahead. He'll be probably a little wilder of the 2. But Melchor Cob Castro, who is a rather severe underdog in this fight, Ferdy, for a champion, has a considerable ability in that ring.
He just doesn't come in with a weight of opinion behind him. You know, you've got Chiquita here. He's a natural lefty. He turned righty. He can fight from either side, and he does half the time. It's hard for an announcer to keep track of whether he's changing from one way to another way. It's such a variety of punches coming at you from all over, and in the meantime, it robs you of your retreat. It robs you of your boxing potential. So, coupled with an intense desire to go back to what he was, considered the devastating fighter of outside of Mike Tyson, I'm sure we're going to see fireworks here.
All right, let's take a look now at how these 2 stack up against each other in terms of the tail of the tape. And as you can see, these guys are little. There's a lot of punching power, though, packed inside those little bodies. Castro is just a little bit taller, but then again, Chiquita has a slight edge in terms of the reach. And we're talking light flyweights, folks, 108 pounds. Now, this will be a WBC light flyweight championship fight, so we take a look at their rule book. Again, 3 judges scoring the fight, the 10-point must. The big situation you have to watch here is that the 3 knockdown rule will not be in effect in this fight. And again, a fighter can be saved by the bell in the last round only.
And that may not be a factor, because we've got Richard Steele, who has got a reputation of stopping fights early. I don't think he's going to let them bounce around more than 3 times down.
Well, it would not be surprising, to say the least, if either one of these fighters was in trouble in this fight and Richard Steele was facing that situation. So this should be exciting. Chiquita Gonzalez, Melchor Cob Castro. Let's go up to Jimmy Lennon Jr. now for the introductions of the fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, in honor of our next bout, the defending champion and the challenger, I'd like to ask you to rise for the singing of the national anthem of Mexico. In the ring to lead us in this, please welcome our vocalist, Sergio Alberti.
Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero apresar y el bridón, y retiembla en su centro. Manos al grito de guerra, el acero apresar y el bridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra, al sonor o rugir del cañón.
Thank you very much to Sergio Alberti. Ladies and gentlemen, Forum Boxing Incorporated, in association with Caesar's Palace, present our next featured bout of the evening, the WBC Light Flyweight Championship of the World. This bout is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council, President Jose Sulaiman, Supervisor Roy Van Putten, along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. And presenting the officials as appointed. Judging at ringside, we have Keith McDonald, Tony Perez, Ray Solis, and the referee in charge of this bout, Richard Steele. All right, fans, here we go. The battle of the little big men. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Light Flyweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first the challenger fighting out of the red corner. Wearing black trunks with gold lettering, fighting out of Mexico City, Mexico. His weight, 108 pounds. His outstanding record, 30 wins, only 1 defeat, with 24 big wins by way of knockout. He is currently ranked the #2 light flyweight contender by the WBC, and he is the former WBC champion known as El Pequeño Gigante de Nesa, Humberto Chiquita Gonzalez. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, is the defending champion. He is wearing blue trunks with white lettering, fighting out of Campeche, Mexico. His weight, 108 pounds. His record, 29 victories, only 2 defeats, with 4 draws and 14 wins by way of knockout. He is the WBC Light Flyweight Champion of the World. Please welcome, baby, Melchor Cob Castro.
Let's go, champ. Touch gloves, good luck.
Well, that was simple enough by Richard Steele, who is refereeing, by the way, his 87th world title fight. And Ferdy, it seems to me the fans have not forgotten the Ruddock-Tyson stoppage yet, because they gave Richard a good booing when he was introduced.
No, but you know, the ref, he is a very good referee, and
yes,
he had
he
a
is.
bad night. So, you know, I told him, bury it, let's keep on going. And I think he will. If there's one guy that's good for this fight, it will be him, because with the no 3 knockdown, it could get dangerous. And you want a Richard Steele in there on a night like this.
That's Chiquita Gonzalez, the challenger, screen left in the black trunks, and Melchor Cob Castro in the blue trunks, the champion. Chiquita the aggressor, as we expected. Chiquita lost his title last year to Rolando Pasqua in December at the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles. He was knocked out in the 6th round, a stunning upset that night. And then it was Melchor Cob Castro who came back next and defeated Rolando Pasqua to get the title that Chiquita had lost.
His manager said his idol is Muhammad Ali, and he's learned to be a master in retreat. So far, in this brief moment that we've started, that's what he's shown. He's shown the backward movement, but he has to remember that Ali stopped and fought, and when he did, it was very vicious kind of fighting. So let's see what he's learned from Muhammad Ali.
Chiquita, like his idol, Pepino Cuevas, is a vicious left hooker, and that's where he likes to load up, is with the left hook.
Well, considering he's a converted lefty, you know he's got power in that left hand. Yeah, and he can change back and forth.
He will do it. I expect him to do that tonight, especially if things aren't working from the right-handed stance.
Right now, very quiet compared to what we thought would start, because Cobb has gotten on a bicycle, and Castro, the champion, has decided to just feel it out this first round, see what's happening.
This is the way that he fought Rolando Pasqua when he won the title. He used this circular motion around the ring. Chiquita's going to have to cut the ring off on him, though. Otherwise, he's going to circle him to death and just try to pop him from long range.
Don't hold him. Don't hold him.
Now there's the first time we see Gonzalez go into the left-handed stance.
Chiquita doesn't look like he's warmed up yet. In spite of this heat, doesn't look like he got himself hot. Doesn't look like he got himself ready to go. He's going to take another round of this circling around at this rate, and he'll blow around, because as Cobb is fighting in retreat, he is also punching when he comes in. So he could just steal this round with just a good flurry.
Good overhand left by Pasqua, caught Chiquita on the ear. And a lot of movement from Melchor Cob Castro, who's nicknamed Baby. There's a big sign unfurled here in the crowd which said "Baby from Campeche," which is where Melchor Cob Castro is from, so a contingent of his fans on hand here tonight at Caesars.
Well, that's an awful lot of proper nouns. Let's just call him Cob.
Yeah.
Cob Castro, let's call him, and that way the fans won't get confused.
So we come to the end of a quiet first round.
Break.
There's the champion, Melchor Cob Castro, making his first title defense.
Let's listen in, and as they talk, then I'll translate.
Que vamos a ganar. ¿Qué te fijaste que no es el monstruo que dicen que telegrafea sus ganchos? Cada vez que se voltee de zurdo, cada vez que se voltee de zurdo y tire jab, fíjate cómo lo regresa mal y puedes tirar. Si tienes velocidad, gancho zurdo o por encima de del jab derecho de él, puedes tirar izquierda purísima y veloz para que lo puedas alcanzar.
Good advice by the
no
corner.
precipites las cosas. Oíste, nomás que no se te vaya. No precipites y cuando tires la izquierda recta por arriba.
Watch Castro throw that. He's right on target. Now he's been giving excellent advice. First thing he said is he's not a monster. He's just a regular guy. Now when he changes to lefty, he comes back weak with the left. Cross over that left. When Chiquita changes into lefty style, drop your punch right over his left. Oh, now it's coming up.
Yeah, Chiquita comes out a little bit more aggressive here, Ferdy, but it cost him because he took a couple of quick punches from Cob Castro. A quick 1-2.
Well, excellent advice from the corner. I mean, if the guy's going to change back and forth, obviously you tell your fighter, if he changes, here's what you do. You just drop your punch right over his left hand when he throws it.
Chiquita now trying to load up with the left.
Look at great grim determination on Chiquita's face. He wants this guy to stop and fight.
I think Chiquita tonight wants to regain a little of his lost prestige. In that fight when he lost the title to Rolando Pasqua, there were many who felt that as he was on the deck that he could have gotten up, but that he chose not to that night.
Well, he had a cut, remember, and it's the first time he's been cut. It was deep, it was bothering him. He just, the wind went out of his sails. That happens so many times when you have an undefeated fighter, begins to believe he just cannot be beaten and finds himself getting beaten. Sometimes that's the mark of a great champion, and not to have it. Oh, nice exchange.
Yes,
nice exchange.
And a good left hook to follow up on it by Cob Castro as he got Chiquita up against the ropes. Cob Castro is punching the sharper, it looks like, so far here between the two. His punches are landing cleaner, although Chiquita's still trying to get off.
But it's dumb to have Chiquita up against the ropes is where Chiquita wants to be. He wants to punch this. He wants power with power. Cob was doing very nicely just boxing around. Why does he want to get in the trenches with this guy?
Put your head.
Apparently not scared of him. I'll say that.
He's fighting well inside. Now he elects to come back out to ring center, where he takes a left from Chiquita. Chiquita doesn't bother much with jabs.
Well, he's a warrior. This guy's one of those kind of guys who would rather be in a fight than a boxing match.
He had 52 fights if you count his amateur and professional career before he suffered defeat.
Remember, there's a cut here that bothered him a great deal over his left eye. Took 7 stitches. He's worried about it. He talked about it in the interview, saying that's a problem, but I'm just not going to have to think about it. Just go ahead and fight.
Chiquita getting in with a quick overhand right. Castro resembles a little facially Bazooka Lamone, the former champion. He doesn't fight like Bazooka.
Not too many people could fight like Bazooka Lamone. That's a wonderful fighter.
And 2 rounds in the books. As we take a look at the challenger and former champion Chiquita Gonzalez.
así como está abriendo la boca, Beto, fíjate, métele por abajo y digo con la cabeza a los lados, ahí ya te paraste a pelear, todavía no es tiempo, cuando tengas chance, así como trajiste el último medio round, Beto,
they're telling him to be patient, get him up against the ropes, and work harder against the ropes. You had him where you want him. There's no reason. He said he's already opening his mouth. There's no reason to let him run around. Get him up against the ropes and work on him. Now here, let's walk against the rope. The work that was going on, actually, that was in Chiquita's favor, but Cob Castro got the better of it. But that will not be the case as the fight continues.
We go into round 3, and Chiquita Gonzalez, a heavy favorite over the champion. Unusual situation, not necessarily for a champion to be an underdog. That happens quite often, but to be as severe as an underdog as he is tonight, Chiquita Gonzalez, is certainly unusual. Just about 4-1 favoritism for Chiquita Gonzalez. She's back in the southpaw stance. What do you think of this shifting back and forth between the two styles, Ferdy?
I never liked it. When I was working in corners, working with the great Angela Dundee, I always thought if you can do it right one way, stick to that. It just confuses you. It doesn't do much to the other opponent. The other guy just, unless you're fighting an amateur, he just adjusts to you, and then you're fighting in one style, which is your weak style, the other style, which is your strong. Best to go with the best thing that you've got. That's, if it's the right hand stance, go that way.
By contrast, Cob Castro come out left-handed, southpaw stance, good. Overhand left by Cob Castro. He will not vary from his southpaw stance.
He did very well in that first round. I mean, it wasn't an action-packed round by a long shot, but he did what he wanted. He moved, he fought when he wanted to, he picked the spots, and won the round. Now, he abandoned that in the second round. He's going back to it now in round 3. Apparently they told him, hey, you did all right while you were boxing. Now let's not get into the trenches too early. Terrific absence of body shots here. I mean, there's nobody's working on the other guy's body. With this heat and 12 rounds to go, you would think they'd be pounding each other's bodies.
And that's very unusual for the fighters from Mexico, too, who specialize in the body attacks.
Yeah, they're both head hunting right now. Nobody's settled them down into a scientific fight.
Again, we see Cob Castro getting Chiquita, pinioning him up against the ropes, and then backing off to ring center.
Good move by Castro, and kind of unexplainable move by Chiquita. He had him where he wanted him. He didn't throw one punch.
And Chiquita is getting caught walking in at times by Cob Castro. Although, let's face it, defense is not Gonzalez's strong point.
Punch it out. Punch it out. Let him go. Let him go.
Well, if I had a cut and was worried about it, I sure wouldn't be doing a lot of head-to-head stuff with Cobb as he's been doing. If there's a way to open it, it's with a headbutt. See how they're getting together with their hands. Nice shot, but it wasn't solid on the part of Cob Castro, but it's a good idea. It was a good hook that just grazed.
He will throw a lot of roundhouse punches.
Two good shots.
Right again, come over the top.
Particularly watch these combats on the rope. Particularly watch what Chiquita's doing. These are to his advantage, but Cobb is turning them to his advantage. He's really out-punching him where the other guy should be good.
Yeah, I think it's the most surprising aspect of this fight so far is that it's Castro getting Gonzalez up against the ropes.
Well, what's surprising to me thus far is I don't see any fire with Chiquita.
End of 3 rounds as we go back to the corner once again of Chiquita Gonzalez, who has not started out with a lot of spark here so far.
It's an amazing thing. Chiquita usually is such a fiery fighter. He's almost like mesmerized by this guy's boxing. Let's listen a moment.
Ahorita le metiste un upper que se cimbró, Beto. Vamos, un upper y un gancho y un upper. Sube las manos. Boxéale, Beto, boxéale.
They're talking like it's a stockbrokers meeting there. They're not really talking about this fight. They're saying an uppercut and a hook. Just do an uppercut and a hook.
All right, we're going to take a look for the first time tonight at Freddie Pacheco's scoreboard and see how the fight doctor's scoring it so far.
First round for the champion, the next one for Chiquita, and the next one for the champion. And so we're at 29-28. It's a very balanced fight. Nobody's taking command right now. It's a chess game where we expected a walk through a minefield. What we have now is just an intelligent fight where the champion is fighting his fight. Chiquita is not.
And the sun setting behind us now, so the temperature, the conditions here are becoming a little bit more comfortable for the fans in attendance.
You know, how many times have you seen a guy who has got an undefeated streak going all knockouts? He gets beaten once, he's never the fighter he is again. I'm wondering if this is what we're seeing in Chiquita, or is he going to get started here pretty soon? Good shots by Castro. Look at these open shots he's landing.
He's never been afraid, Chiquita Gonzalez, to take a few punches to get his big bombs in. But against Rolando Pasqua, he was taking too many punches and eventually was decked and knocked out. He's taking a lot there, and a good right hand by Cob Castro. They butted heads there, and Castro apologized to Chiquita.
Punch it, get on.
Yeah, Chiquita got the instruction for the uppercut, and it's Castro that's been landing the uppercut in close. Maybe he's listening to the other corner instead of his own. Well, this is supposed to be an even fight. So far, it's been an even fight, albeit not as exciting as I anticipated it would be to this point.
Chiquita Gonzalez, before he lost to Pasqua, was apparently on a collision course with Michael Carbajal. They were talking about it actually, Ferdy, being a 108-pound fight for guys fighting for $1 million payday, which is hard to believe at that weight.
I was going to go out and celebrate. I've been saying these little guys are action. I love Carbajal, and I think they deserve all the money the big guys do. I hope one day that comes to pass.
People, on the other hand, were wondering about Castro after he beat Pasqua to take away his title. Was he a one-night wonder?
It looks like it. Again, the better puncher, Castro.
And those are sharp punches. That exchange, 3 sharp punches by Cob Castro. And again, he pins Chiquita up against the ropes and wails away to the body with a hard right. Chiquita trying to fight off the ropes.
Chiquita not doing any fighting off the ropes. Look at him. To take a punch, to punch. See, it seems that he's scared to punch or else get punched in return. He's not doing the punching, but they are rubbing heads together. Bad news. Bad news for Chiquita.
Gonzalez easily got under that roundhouse right again from Castro.
There goes the body work. Now we're starting to see the real fighters. Now when they start to go to the body, that's when this fight's going to open up.
And a nice left cross by Castro as he bounced back out to the center of the ring.
Don't hold him, don't hold him. Don't hold him, don't hold him.
10 seconds to go, and a surprising performance for a 4-1 underdog.
Great! Keep him up, keep him up.
Well, Ferdy, as we follow Melchor Cob Castro back to his corner, he seems to be establishing an edge here.
He seems to be establishing his game plan. He is fighting the way he wants to fight. Chiquita is fighting a very confused fight. It's neither his fight nor is it a reaction to the other guy. He's just not getting off.
All right, let's go over to our host for the evening, Al Bernstein, who has an interesting interview. Al?
Well, thank you, Rich. I'm here with Bruce McNall, the owner of the LA Kings, the Toronto Argonauts, and co-promoter of this bout. Your first experience with boxing, what are your impressions?
Oh, it's interesting. It's the first time I've ever been involved with this, but Jerry Buss and Henry Gluck said this is the thing I should do, and I like getting involved with class people and class events, and this seems like it, so I'm excited about it.
You're making a lot of acquisitions lately. The Rocket, Yari Curry. You like to get winners, huh?
I love to get winners, and I really enjoy getting involved with people and events like this that are really classically put on, and I'm really enjoying it.
All right, thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to Rich at ringside.
Thanks, Al. Thank you, Bruce McNall. He and Jerry Buss, the two owners of those Los Angeles sports franchises, or I guess you could characterize them as the ultimate sports fans in Los Angeles. All right, here we go, round 5, Ferdy. And Chiquita Gonzalez, we'll see if he picks up the pace now here in this 5th round.
He better do something. If he hopes to outclass and outfight Castro, he better start fighting his fight, impose his will on Castro rather than following the lead. He's not good so far at following Castro.
In case you picked us up late, this is Chiquita Gonzalez, the challenger and former champion in the black trunks. He is screen right. Melchor Cob Castro on the move in the blue trunks. He is the champion. In our first fight this evening, Troy Dorsey knocked out Alfred Rangel in 1 round, 2:37 of the first round, to win the IBF featherweight title.
Castro maintaining that distance, just gliding almost effortlessly. I mean, he's bouncing up and down like he had springs there, like he is, just like this was the first round. He is on glide here. Chiquita, for his part, can't seem to get an attack mounted when he comes in. He is throwing his punches from too far out. By the time he comes in, he gets nailed by the counters of Cob Castro.
Work it out.
Yeah, he also has to stay there. When the referee breaks him, stay there is what the corner screams at him. It's the first kind of good offensive action you've seen, repeated jabs. You have to follow a jab with a jab. Follow it in with the right hand.
Right, and that's the first time it looked like Chiquita really was able to reach him with jabs.
Because he only jabs once, he stops when he's 6 inches away. You got to keep going. The next one will hit you, or the next one will hit you, but don't stop. He has not gotten the afterburners going, and he better start before he digs himself a big hole here.
Watch your head.
Castro continues to move in a circular fashion, throwing that roundhouse right. It seems to throw Chiquita Gonzalez off with a very frustrating style.
It's frustrating, but look at that. Look at that. That right hand, I mean, it was a straight left. It just caught him totally unaware, as if he's expecting the other punch, and he came back. Came back with a good right hand that time. Castro's just out-thinking and out-timing Chiquita.
And as he did against Rolando Pasqua, Cob Castro is getting braver now as the fight goes on.
Yeah, he's having found pay date with that straight left. He's thrown it 3 or 4 times and missed, but boy, the one he hit was a solid shot.
Punch again, break. Hold it. Break, step back.
There's a good left hook from Chiquita Gonzalez.
First good punch. I think he's thrown that had some steam in it and some evil intention. The first one that landed really well.
Castro seemed to relax just a second and let his right hand down, and Chiquita countered with a nice left hook.
Castro's turning over those little hooks. They're short, they're little, but he's turning them over, and they're landing somewhere on the head, and that is the end of that round.
The official program for tonight's Thomas Hearns Virgil Hill World Light Heavyweight Championship fight is available for order now on a limited basis. If you call 1-609-627-1356 to place your order now. Order your copy of tonight's official program. It's the same one being sold here at Caesars Palace. The cost is $7 per copy plus $3 for shipping and handling. Plus, call in now to get information on a special program bonus. Call again 1-609-627-1356 to place your order now.
You know, Danny Carvajal, the manager of his brother, Michael Carvajal, wasn't crazy to fight Castro. He didn't want to fight him. Now that we see him, I understand why he wasn't too crazy to fight Michael Carvajal.
Well, he's one of those cuties that nobody likes to fight.
Well, I can well see why.
He's going to make you look bad. Even if somehow you end up beating him, he's going to make you look bad in the process.
Well, right now, Chiquita better put it in another gear.
Punch it, get out of there. Break, step back.
Castro 29-2-4, which is an outstanding record. But since he got off to a bit of a slow start in his career, he's been 26-1 since that time. And his fights follow a pattern. He starts kind of slow, he sizes up his opposition, gets braver as the fight wears on, and then off time scores a late round knockout, as he did to win the title.
Chiquita's just not firing off. When Castro comes within range, he's got to fire off something, anything. Hit his arm, hit his anywhere. Look at that. 2, 3, 4 punches, and Castro's gone again. Hello, and here's my calling card, and he's gone. And they reset.
But it was a good, quick little combination by Melchor Cob Castro.
That's why these rounds are beginning to be a parade of rounds for Castro.
Break, step back.
It is just that he's outboxing him, and there's no fire. There's no spark to Chiquita right now.
Gonzalez going to the body with a right and a left. The right hand got in. Now he tries from long range to bomb with that left, but Castro again is able to get that arm up to block it.
Punch it, get out.
Gonzalez continues to be the aggressor, but not an effective aggressor.
Yeah, defense is point building if you're fighting in defense. If you stop and you fight, as he has been doing, as Castro has been doing, landing the combinations, moving out of range, that neutralizes the aggressiveness of Chiquita, which is, after all, not much of an aggressiveness. He's just following him around.
However, remember, he does have that big bomb, so you can't count Chiquita Gonzalez out. Again, they bump heads in close.
Oh, they got a long way to go. I mean, this is a long fight. At this rate, Chiquita's got to get on fire somewhere here. Or Castro will get careless, thinking he's got this fight going his way, and start to fight with Chiquita in the middle of the ring, and then, of course, that's when it could happen.
Whereas you can't say it really about Castro, you can say that Chiquita Gonzalez does have one punch knockout power.
That's what he should do. He should punch, and no matter what he hits, if he hits the shoulder, make the other guy feel that you've got a punch and something to worry about. Low blow by Chiquita. Not hard, not intentional, nor was it hard.
You're holding.
First low blow of the fight. It gives you an idea how few body shots are being thrown in this fight.
Melchor Cob Castro keeping the fight at his tempo, and Chiquita Gonzalez a little bit frustrated. But there's Castro, the champion, getting his instructions in the corner. Let's listen.
Sin respeto, es el round 7 ya. Ahora peleale con velocidad y oportunismo. ¿Me estás escuchando? No, tú puedes retener el título.
Let's see that low blow that he got a warning for. It wasn't much of a warning. Said, hey, watch it. You see, it was right on the cup. It wasn't a really fierce blow, but it was a blow south of the border. Richard Steele, wanting to keep the fight under control, gave a slight warning. Let's listen.
De repente te paras y sorpresivamente le depositas combinaciones de 3 o 4 golpes y te vuelves a retirar. ¿Para qué te metes a pelear en corto con él? Es un peleador muy lento de reflejos. ¿Oíste? Pero hazlo, no me digas nada más que sí. Pura velocidad de aquí para arriba. Son 5 rounds.
Nacho Bernstein telling his fighter, you've got the formula. Punch and leave, punch and leave. What are you standing there for? You see his reflexes are slow and he's not on fire. Just don't let me see you stop and punch with him. So basically what we have been saying is what the corner is feeling. As long as you can fight and retreat and do as well as you've been doing, why take a chance?
Chiquita comes out looking to step up the pace here a little in round number 7.
And the pace should have been stepped up. In the corner, they should have been directing him, go right to the body. Stop looking for his head, it ain't there. I mean, the body you can hit. The head, you're not hitting right. Cut him off. No, gets away.
Punch it, get out of
Gonzalez continues to move forward. Castro continues to move. Circular, lateral movement.
And you see right off the bat, Chiquita doesn't know how to cut off the ring. He does not know how to step over and deprive Castro of that pathway and block it the other way with a punch. He's not doing it. Standing right in front of him, and so giving the other guy easy exit either way.
Great! Step back, great!
Boy, that's chess. You just watched the chess game in a boxing ring. One guy's thinking, the other guy outthinks him. Now there's a good body shot by Chiquita. That's what he's got to be doing. In there. There it is again, and that one was low.
You know, the interesting thing here, though, is...
Again, Richard Steele calls him. Keep him up. That's 2.
The kind of fight that Castro is fighting so far to very good effect against Chiquita Gonzalez is not really the type of fight that Rolando Pasqua used to defeat Chiquita. He went punch for punch with Chiquita and ended up out-punching.
Well, let me tell you, this is not a popular kind of fight. People that just are not scoring fights but are looking at fights say, well, the other guy's making the fight. Chiquita's coming after him, so he should be winning the fight, but he's not scoring. He's missing. Now, here we go. That's Chiquita. Now, that's Chiquita. Followed him into the ropes for 2 or 3 good shots, ended up with a body. Now, that was it.
Let's see if he can follow up now.
Best segment of the fight for Chiquita. Now, that should make him happy. He's going back to the body again. Now he's getting the idea. Castro unfazed. He's just very patient. Outthinking. Outmoving.
10 seconds to go in the 7th round, where Chiquita Gonzalez has done a little bit more in the way of effective punching in this round than he had in the previous couple. We are here at Caesars Palace. We are in the second of our 4 fights tonight, 3 world title fights and an NABF title fight, which will be the big guys of boxing, the heavyweights, Tony Tucker, and there you see him in much better shape for this fight than he'd been in recent bouts that we've seen him in action. Tucker getting down to 235 after weighing in at 249 for his last bout just a month ago. And Tony Tucker trying to get back in the picture against Orlin Norris, who's the brother, by the way, of the junior middleweight champ, Terry Norris. And a good fighter, but a lot smaller than Tony Tucker. That one's going to be coming up next, and of course will be followed by the main event this evening, the light heavyweight championship fight between Thomas Hearns and Virgil Hill. Round 8 underway.
Well, with this fight unofficially at 5 rounds to 2 in Castro's favor. Chiquita just starting to get cranked up in that last round. Let's see if he can turn it around. Look at the difference. Stepping on the gas here.
Chiquita Gonzalez in the black trunks. Melchor Cob Castro doing the punching there in the blue trunks, the champion. Now backing away.
This fight's still up for grabs. Chiquita comes on now and starts to get him in a punch-out.
Don't hold him, Frank.
And Castro is beginning to get bothered, it seems like, by some of the tactics of Chiquita. He's complaining about low blows. He's complaining about headbutts. And Chiquita would like very much to turn this into an alley fight.
Yeah, he wants to get him down. He has been warned twice, and he just repeatedly had low blows, 3 of them. Steele kind of leaned in there like just about to say something, but thought the better of it.
Punch to get out.
One thing about Castro, I don't see any steam in his punches. I mean, he lands, building up points. There aren't crackling shots. There aren't the kind of shots that knock you out. They're the kind of shots that build up points.
He has 14 KOs in his 29 victories, so just about half. He is not a big puncher, although he did win the title with the 10th round KO. In that fight, Rolando Pascu just gave up in the 10th. And he'd had to lose a lot of weight, though, before that fight in the last few days, so he was weakened quite a bit. Good body shot by Castro.
Yep. Long absent body shot is beginning to appear here. Chiquita has been going to the body the last 2 rounds very well, which he should have been doing from the beginning. It looks like Chiquita's getting the idea that he is going to lose this if he doesn't step up the action. Now, there's again a complaint. Chiquita again has hit his head against Castro. Castro has again complained. I think he does a little elbow just to keep things dirty. Chiquita's starting to land.
Yes, he's closing the distance now. Castro not getting away from some of those shots that he was earlier.
Chiquita wearing him down. Have you noticed the absence of motion from Castro? All of a sudden, he stopped running. Better get back on the horse. Oop, another low blow.
And he
another
grimaces.
one. Since Steele didn't see it, he can't say anything about it, but obviously it happened.
The right hand catches Castro going away. He's bothering, Cob Castro in this round, no question about it. With his tactics 1 and with his punching 2.
Well, I think he's landed more body shots than he did in all the other rounds combined, and he's fighting like Chiquita.
End of 8 rounds, and Chiquita Gonzalez goes back to his corner, and perhaps a little more exuberantly than he had in previous rounds.
Let's listen and see if they're as happy as they should be.
Si lo presionas así, le cortas el paso, no te aguanta mucho, ¿ok? Tienes que presionar, Beto. Así igual como estás haciéndolo. No lo sigas. Cierra tu cintura. Cierra tu cintura, sácalo, pero la izquierda y todo. Así como estás haciéndolo, presiónalo. Viene el 9, Beto.
They're saying exactly what we've been saying, pressure. The pressure is the key, the body is the key. Keep right on top of him, don't let him take a breath. Don't let him get in motion. So far, excellent corner advice from both corners. Chiquita Gonzalez has got to pick up the action.
All right, 4 rounds to go. This fight appears to be up for grabs. How do you have it scored, Ferdy?
Well, so far the final total 77 to 75. This far is quite unofficial. In other words, 5-3 unofficially for Chiquita Gonzalez. He's taken the last 2 rounds. He's coming on. And this may brew up into an interesting confrontation as these last rounds become extremely important to both men.
Punching seemingly getting a little bit sharper for Chiquita Gonzalez as the fight is wearing on. He's getting into it.
Again, the body shot, and the body shot, low body shot away from Steele, so Steele didn't see it again.
No holding, no holding.
Both of these fighters from Mexico, the challenger, Chiquita Gonzalez from Mexico City, the champion from Campeche, Mexico.
Ooh, nice.
No holding.
Nice but ineffective hand. Left hand by Castro, which was looping, and it landed right on his cheek, but did no damage whatsoever. There's no power behind his punches of Castro's.
Come on.
But there's a lot of power behind Chiquita Gonzalez's punches. Strong body by Chiquita.
And now Chiquita, as he backs to the ropes, Ferdy, doing something a little bit different than he did early. He's fighting there when he gets to the ropes.
You got the message.
Good, sharp left cross by the champion Castro that caught Chiquita walking in.
But Chiquita had landed about 6 consecutive punches, so points would go to Chiquita in that.
Punching it out. Punching it out.
Still giving him a chance to punch.
Échale cabeza, Beto, ya se paró. Échale cabeza nada más. ¡No me engancho, vamos!
Gonzalez has spent much of the fight in this very position, surprisingly enough, with his back to the ropes.
Not once has the opposite happened. You should say trabajo. Neither one of them speak English. Work means nothing to either one.
No holding. Keep him up, keep him up.
Hard to keep them up when you're that little and you're punching the body. They got to blow with blows, and both of them. Chiquita landing many more low blows, but both of them landing low blows.
Castro had him pinned there for a good 45 seconds to a minute.
But wasn't effective. I mean, the most they did was rub heads a lot. I mean, the punches were short, ineffective on both counts.
Come on, punching it out. Right.
Chiquita landing many more blows than he has before. Look at that body attack. That's what he should have been doing from the beginning.
Right, there were 4 clean body shots by Chiquita Gonzalez. There's the champion, Melchor Cob Castro.
Rífate, chaparro, porque la pelea la vamos perdiendo. Si puedes rescatar algo, es el round 10, 11 y 12, rífate. Ganchos, pero párate. ¿Oíste, Simón? Pero hazlo, ya no te hizo nada durante 10 rounds. Trata de hacerlo, inténtalo. Apoya bien tus golpes, tira golpes y remátalos con ganchos, pero con determinación.
Ahorita vamos.
Y cabecea, lo puedes hacer, el tipo no es nadie, nada más que es muy fuerte y pega fuerte, nada más que ha estado haciendo toda la pelea.
It's a tremendous left hand by Castro.
He followed it with some power. It was his best shot in the last couple of rounds, I guess you would say, Ferdy.
Yeah, but Chiquita has come on, and the best advice they could give him was, well, he hasn't knocked you out yet, has he? So you got 3 rounds to go. Keep the uppercut coming, and then come back with a left hook after the uppercut. That was basically the entire advice that he got from his corner. I hate to tell a fighter, you haven't gotten knocked out yet, have you? I mean, it's like you expected to.
Well, he seemed to be wearing down a little bit in the last couple of rounds.
His corner's not happy with him fighting it out and letting Chiquita land those body shots. They want him back on that horse, but you know, it's one thing to attempt it for 12 rounds, you know, and to do it, because it's very hot here today. Even though it's gotten shady now, it's very hot. And all those body shots Chiquita's landed in the last 3 rounds are starting to tell.
When you think of a big puncher like Gonzalez, you might think he needs to score a knockout to win, but it's not true really. He won the title. When he won it with a 12-round decision over a Korean fighter, Yol Woo Lee, in his first defense against another successful, against another South Korean, was again successful by way of decision. So his title-winning effort and his first defense were both by decision. he might be satisfied to go that route again tonight.
Well, this fight's getting very close. The last 3 rounds have been Chiquita all the way after a long haul of rounds by Castro. So each man trading scoring schemes here.
Well, interestingly enough, while many felt that the Dorsey-Rangel fight, our first fight tonight, would be a long fight, that one ended in 1 round, and this bout, which many expected to be a quick bout, has gone certainly a length of ground here. We're in the 10th round.
That's why there's so many white-haired boxing promoters and TV producers in the truck. Nothing happened in this round. In contradistinction to the last round, which was all action and things heating up. Both men have taken time off. Somebody can jump in here and steal this round with just a very good display of offensive power.
Well, I'll tell you this is the quietest I've ever heard a crowd at a Chiquita Gonzalez fight.
It's true. The crowd is not in it at all.
Good little uppercut, right hand by Castro, the champion.
He's got to land more of those. He's got to get back on target. He's been off for a long time now, 3 rounds, and he's got to get back into throwing those sharp little punches and combinations that won him all the rounds in the middle.
A chant from the crowd now going up behind us, baby, baby. As we mentioned, Castro's nickname.
Break. Keep him up, don't hold him. Break!
There's a bell. We have 10 rounds in the books between these two, and what evidently is a close fight. A lot of these rounds have been close and perhaps tough to judge.
Ahorita casi todo el round lo estuviste recibiendo. Ya jálalo, Beto, está parado, ya no tiene nada. Beto, échale cabeza, nada más jalándolo, recibiéndolo, ya no tiene nada, Beto. Trabajaste muy bien este round, vamos a echarle más fuerza, más cabeza, ya no tiene nada.
Sí. No te vayas a las cuerdas, ¿entiendes? Al centro.
Al centro vamos a recibirlo, Beto. Y vamos a echarle para no dejar dudas, ¿sí, Beto? Vamos a echarle para no dejar dudas. Al centro todo, Beto.
All right, let's take a look at the scoreboard now, Ferdy. Through 10 rounds.
Well, we're down to 96 to 95, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a very even fight. How the judges are seeing it, of course, is something else, but that last round was even. Neither man did it. There was a nice little uppercut in there, but there was, outside of that, nothing to give the round convincingly to one man or the other.
What were they saying to Chiquita in his corner?
They were saying, now you've got the guy. You got the guy standing up. Come on.
Well, here comes Castro with a surprising offensive. Well, mixing it up with Chiquita.
Yeah, he's come back from his vacation. He's back. That was good. Good action by Castro.
Good little right hand by Castro again, and a left hand, and that one knocked Chiquita off balance.
That was a good left hand. In fact, the whole series of punches have been good by Castro here. But now, glove.
Got some tape loose, I think.
Go to corner. Go. Time.
Now they must have some tape loose on Melchor Cob Castro, so they call time.
Tape it up.
When it gets wet, that tape just loses its adhesiveness, and you got to put fresh tape on it. There goes the mouthpiece down.
Okay, let's go. Get the mouthpiece. Let's go. Time.
Now the sun is not shining on the crowd and the fighters, and it's not quite the heat that we had here, which was pretty rough when we started the telecast this evening for the first fight, which was in excess of 90 degrees.
It's no longer a factor. No longer a factor at all. In fact, let's make a pact. Let's not mention it anymore.
Come on, work it down. Pull him back. Keep him up. Pull him back.
See that little elbow work by Cob Castro in there?
Castro's trying to indicate the guy's got me trapped. You know, break us up.
Series of body blows by Chiquita.
Chiquita should have turned him around and attacked him on the ropes. He hasn't done that yet. Not once has he gotten Castro up to the ropes.
Come on, work it, get out. Don't hold him.
Chiquita realizing he started out very well in this round. Castro did. He's got to do something to even up this round, or else he's blowing around off of the good offensive show of Castro at the beginning.
Yeah, Castro's first 30 seconds in this round was his best work in maybe 5-6 rounds that we'd seen out of him.
What I would give to see the Chiquita spin him around, trap him. See, he started to spin him, but he got caught. Trap him on the ropes and work on Castro. He has not done that once for a guy that loves to bang on the ropes as much as Chiquita. You wonder what he's thinking about.
I think Castro felt he was going to do it. He tried to do it. But see what happens there is Castro has got a lot of wisdom, it looks like, in that ring, Ferdy, and he tries to tie him up. He grabs his arms and ties him up before Chiquita gets a chance to do it.
And that's called ring generalship. And that will get you points in the round. Good definition of ring generalship. He's out-thinking. He's thinking ahead of time and stopping him before he does it.
Come on, work!
Boy, Gonzalez missing a lot of punches.
You can hear Castro breathing through his mouthpiece. I mean, you can hear him really panting. He's breathing hard. Chiquita's right now trying too hard to overcome that edge that Castro got in the first round.
There's Chiquita Gonzalez. 1 round to go in which to try to regain his world championship.
You know, this could be the round that wins this fight. As it has become, as it got close, it got down. It's 106 to 104 with Castro ahead because of that last round. This could actually be, however, on all judges' cards, the round that decides the fight. So let's pay particular attention. Let's see who wants it worse.
It's the last and final round.
Boy, they have really given Chiquita Gonzalez a good dousing in the corner with water. And there's Melchor Cob Castro, the champion.
Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
He said, box this round beautifully. Castro's manager said, we got the fight. Box it beautifully. Don't take your chance.
Remember that the champion, Melchor Cob Castro, as we start the final round, was a 4-1 underdog in this fight to the challenger, Chiquita Gonzalez.
Regardless of the outcome and regardless of what the judges said, he certainly has given a good performance here tonight. Boxed cleverly, neutralized, and out-ring generaled a puncher like Chiquita Gonzalez.
And I think one thing for sure, no matter what the decision, the aura of invincibility around Chiquita Gonzalez
has evaporated into the desert heat, which we won't talk about anymore, but was 93 degrees. Curious lack of desperation on the part of Chiquita. He doesn't look like he's got to have it. It doesn't look like he's out there and I got to have this or else kind of. They look like they're both boxing right in the middle of this fight rather than the last round.
Roundhouse punches from Castro partially blocked by
Come on, work your way out.
the challenger.
Last round, let's work.
Who was beginning to get welts on his back, Ferdy, from the work on the ropes.
Yeah. Put your back to the ropes and just keep rubbing it. You get these big blood blisters, welts.
Hold the work last round.
Good body shots coming up to the head, and a good series of punches by Chiquita Gonzalez. He should stay there and keep that up.
He landed one real strong left hook that landed flush on the chin of the champion.
And now it is Cob Castro who's holding on. He's holding on. Look, he felt the effect of those combined punches. He's still holding on and still doing a good job by breaking him up.
Good left hook from Chiquita Gonzalez. Chiquita picking it up now.
Now Chiquita is on a roll. 2 good body shots, a good head shot.
Come on, work this out.
Fighting the kind of fight we expected of him, and he better. This is the last round.
Keep him up, keep him up, keep him up.
Isn't it odd that now he's punching with such authority to the body?
Castro was trying to hold on to him, trying to clamp down on that left hand of Chiquita Gonzalez, but Richard Steele just took it and swiped at it and knocked it away.
It's Castro that's dead tired. He's breathing through his mouth. He's punching effectively, and he's holding on Here comes Chiquita.
Good series of punches by Gonzalez, but then a right hand from down under thrown at a strange angle by Castro that caught Chiquita Gonzalez by surprise.
But no steam on it.
Right.
Nothing.
Arm punch.
You see, right now, Chiquita can go right through Castro. He can get there. He's got the title in his hands if he wants. He can go right through it, and he's not doing it.
Final seconds of this fight. They're going the distance. Chiquita Gonzalez with his arm upraised. Well, I wonder if this is one of those bouts, Ferdy, where both guys go to their corner thinking they've won the fight.
I think so, and I also think that regardless of what the crowd thinks, they're going to boo the decision anyway. I'm sure no matter what they think, it will be the wrong guy, because this is such a close fight. It truly is a close fight. It's maybe a one-point fight. When you get like that, it's just then becomes a question of the philosophy of the judges. Who likes a smart boxer? Who likes a puncher more? I think it's a very close fight. If it's not close, I'd be surprised.
All right, Ferdy, we're going to take a look at some of that action now in the last round where Chiquita was coming on pretty good.
Well, if Chiquita had been doing this from round 7 or 8 on, he would have knocked out Castro. Castro is huffing, puffing. Look at the blows, the way they land, but it's specifically the body blows, which are setting up the head shots. Of course, that is the name of the game. It doesn't do you any good to fight in the 12th round like that if you should have been fighting in the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th that way.
Most of Melchor Cob Castro's fights have gone the distance, so it is not unusual for him to be standing around waiting for a decision to be rendered. Of course, that is the case for Chiquita, but as we mentioned, in becoming champion and defending it, he did go to a decision on a couple of occasions. So he went to 12 rounds, seemed to be wearing Pasqua down through, and I think had the fight been one of those old good fights for 15 rounds, Ferdy, that Chiquita might have been in pretty good shape.
I believe that's true. I'm in favor of the 15-round fight because that's a championship causeway. Between 10 and 15 is where you separate the men and the boys. I don't think Castro would have made it all the way to 15 because of the way he was wearing out and Chiquita was coming on. I think that off of this fight, neither one have particularly merited the thought that of $1 million gate with Carvajal. They'd have to show a lot more to make it worth the money.
All right, I believe we are ready for the decision now, so let's find out who won from ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of championship boxing, we have a unanimous decision, and here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Ray Solis scores the bout 116-113. Keith McDonald and Tony Perez, they both agree, scoring the bout 116-112. All three in favor of the winner. And the new WBC light flyweight champion, Humberto Chiquita Gonzalez.
So there he is, the new champion, Chiquita Gonzalez, going the distance to beat Melchor Cob Castro. It appeared in the first 5 or 6 rounds as though Castro was dominating the fight, but he was gradually wearing down the champion Melchor Cob Castro, and he came on with that late rally, won most of the rounds from the midpoint on, and Chiquita Gonzalez runs his record to 31-1 with 24 knockouts, and he is once again the WBC's light flyweight champion of the world. That's the 108-pound weight class. We take a look at the action now as Chiquita Gonzalez was coming on pretty good at the end of the fight. There you see that strong left by Gonzalez, who was punching in combinations as the last round was unfolding. And Gonzalez, although it was a more controlled attack than we normally see from Chiquita Gonzalez, nonetheless was doing the effective punching at that point. And after some rocky early rounds for Chiquita, when Melchor Cob Castro seemed to be doing well in terms of boxing, he seemed to solve the frustrating style of the champion, and Chiquita Gonzalez is once again the champion of the world. And standing with the new champion is the Fight Doctor.
Congratulations. Did you feel you needed the last round?
Bueno, yo creo que pues mi esquina me lo ha dicho que pues iba adelante, pero dice apriétale en el último round, y es cuando estoy acostumbrado a apretarle a los últimos rounds.
He felt he had to pressure him. His corner told him he needed that last round. He pressured him. That's how he thought he won the title. Esto fue un encuentro muy difícil para ti, para decirte que no empezaste hasta el medio del combate.
Bueno, sí, yo creo que pues era difícil porque se vio que yo lo vi en la pelea que era rápido, pero ahora lo que pasa es que pues me preparé bien porque quería recuperar lo que me pertenece a mí.
I asked him if he thought that was an unusual fight at the beginning, the first 7 or 8 rounds. He said he did. It took him that long to figure him out and to get down to it. ¿Por qué no le fuiste al cuerpo más al principio? No le fuiste al cuerpo hasta el final del combate.
Pues sí, yo creo que pues estuve parando todo, empezar la... Y así sucedió.
I asked him why didn't he go to the body at the beginning. He says, I didn't feel I could hit him at the beginning. He had such space, but I started to work at the body. Then I could get up to the head, and that's what I did toward the last round. We have here Mr. Suleiman from the WBC. I think is selling a huge. Are you selling that? Are you giving that to somebody? What is that?
This is what the champions win started this year.
I think he better go home with a bodyguard. yo creo que necesitas dos policías muy grandes alrededor de ti si vas a ponerte esto.
Sí, ya los tengo ahí abajo, ya no me preocupo.
I said he has to go home with 2 bodyguards. He says I've already got them back there, and they're waiting. Bueno, muy bien. Entonces, ¿qué? ¿Carvajal?
Pues sí, me interesa la pelea con él o con quien sea. Ya recuperé el campeonato y ahora lo que Dios dice es seguir adelante.
All right, Carvajal, yes, definitely. In the future, anybody that comes. And now, back to Rich at ringside, who's ready for anybody.
All right, thanks, Ferdy. And there's the moment that Chiquita Gonzalez was waiting for, to have his title belt replaced back on his weight. 108-pound champion, the new WBC light flyweight king, is Chiquita Gonzalez.
Well, thank you, Rich. And as we take a look down at this scene as the dusk settles in here in Las Vegas, Nevada, we've got heavyweights coming up. Tony TNT Tucker and Orlin Norris for Norris's NABF heavyweight championship. And, of course, the light heavyweight title on the line when Virgil Hill takes on Tommy Hearns, defending his WBA crown. Well, so Chiquita Gonzalez retains his title with that late comeback. And, you know, when he lost his title to Rolando Pascua, even though he lost, there were 100 people in the airport at Mexico City to greet him. How many do you think will be there now when he goes home after winning this title? His idol was Pepino Cuevas. Lupe Sanchez, who started him out in boxing, who has passed away, was Cuevas' manager. And so now Gonzalez has done something that even Cuevas couldn't do, and that is win back his title after he lost it. And for Melchor Cob Castro, of course, a good performance, even in losing. What about this heavyweight matchup we've got upcoming? Well, Tony TNT Tucker, you may remember him as the man that went 12 rounds with Mike Tyson. And, of course, Orlin Norris is the NABF crown, who has changed his style and is now quite a puncher. He's won 6 of his last 7 by knockout. So this figures to be a pretty good heavyweight matchup. Of course, Tucker, the last man to go the distance with Tyson. We'll see what happens in this heavyweight matchup, and to find out about it, let's go down to Rich Murata.
All right, thanks, Alan. And boy, we've had an interesting evening tonight. Certainly some unexpected developments. Troy Dorsey winning in a 1-round knockout over Alfred Rangel to win the title. And then Chiquita Gonzalez fighting a more controlled fight than I've ever seen him fight before, and I've seen several of his bouts, to win the title back once again from Melchor Cob Castro.
And always you can expect in boxing the reverse of what you think. Here, the one that should have lasted went 1 round, and the one that should have been an explosion was actually a technical fight.
Well, now we come up to the NABF heavyweight title. This is the North American Championship, for those of you not familiar with all of the jurisdictional bodies that populate the boxing world. And this is an interesting one, especially from the size aspect, Ferdy.
Wasn't it funny at the weigh-in yesterday? Here comes Tucker, huge,